Look here. Look here. I'm gonna do this once, and I'm gonna say this one time. I pretty much am gonna go through a topic, and this topic is very personal to me because it pretty much covers a situation that I'm going through. So, for all you parents out there, let me tell you something. Raising a kid, it ain't easy. And I know it's not. Because, it is difficult. And especially when it comes to kids who ends up coming out with, all these deficiencies and all these disabilities and all these mental illnesses. And all these mental illnesses and whatnots. And, it's just, it's very challenging and stuff like that. So, it's hard when parents with autistic children have a hard time, dealing with the complications, with the child during their youth. And of course, some people would say that it is time consuming and it would take a lot of free time away from the parent because they have to spend so much time. But what y'all gotta understand is when y'all out there and y'all gotta pretty much understand that when you're with an autistic child, you gotta take special care of that child. That means you're going to be able to take care of the child by spending more time with the child so that you can help get it to build more social skills so that you can get it out into the community. You got to go ahead and you have to become more compassionate and understanding, because let me tell you something. All these selfish parents out here, y'all need to get it together, because I'm going to just keep it real. If you don't want the kid, put a glove on, or put a condom on, or use birth control, or simply say no. It's as simple as that. And I'm probably not even going to get any deeper into that. But if the parent just learns to be more compassionate and understanding with the child as they're developing, in whatever case of severity that the autism has, you spend more time with them so that you can help them go out into the community and be more of a better social human being. And on top of that, having to be able to gain the knowledge of the disability itself while you're doing those things will help make raising them a lot more easier. So let's get down to the details over these situations. Spending more time with the kid is just enough, because you gotta understand that when you do that, it does a lot of good things that a lot of parents tend to not even think about, because they're so focused on the, oh my gosh, I'm about to waste my life on this chap. Oh my gosh, I'm about to waste my time on this chap. Oh my gosh, I'm about to waste a lot of my money on this chap. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Shut the fuck up, okay? Just shut the fuck up, okay? I'm not here for it. Shut up. Because I'm about to tell you right now, it's a whole lot easier when you calm hell down and just think, listen, you can go at this a lot easier when you spend more time with the kid and know that it does a lot. Getting the child out will help them out with their social activities and set them up for a lifetime, and be able to help get them into molding them into becoming better adults when they're grown. Okay, when you're spending more time with them, you help teach them how to be more, socially appropriate, depending on the severity, because some cases of autism are different, because it has a level of severities I'm not even saying it right, but hopefully y'all know what I mean. But it has a level of, of issues of how bad it can be. It's the extreme, then the mild, and then the low. So you just got to pay more attention to them. So depending on how much time you spend depends on how bad the disability is. So you got to be able to be more compassionate and understanding with the child, to know that you need to teach them how to be more, suitable and conservative. You got to teach them how to be more socially appropriate. You got to do all this other stuff so that you can be able to help mold them into becoming more and more better and well suited, people as they grow older, so that they can be able to tend and fend for themselves. Okay? So if you just sit down and just think about all the positives and how much you can really gain from just spending much time and doing research, that can be very, very beneficial. And it is what it is. And plus, it keeps you from being stressed, child. Come on now. Get with the program. So, yeah. And the other thing that can really help get you to understand exactly why spending more time with the kid is a good thing is because it also helps stimulate your mind and helps you learn so much more about the disability from your child as you go. So because you're doing that and you're spending more time, you're understanding, oh, he don't like doing this, oh, she don't like doing this, oh, so you prefer this over that. Oh, he can't do this because of this, and that. Oh, she can't do this because of this, and that. You know all their triggers. You know all the negative aspects and all the good aspects. You know all the characteristics. You know everything because you spent time with the child. Which is why it's a good thing why you need to do that, and why you also need to try to tend to more research on why you should be able to understand the disability and be able to move forward. And then on top of that, just being able to know the disability and to know everything about what your child has, it's a lot easier to put them in check. It's a lot easier to simply put your kids in order and keep them in check. It's as simple as that. And the last thing, like I said, be more mindful and more compassionate, because again, a lot of selfish parents, they don't care. They're not going to sit here and go through all this other stuff for what? For what? You need to understand that when you're compassionate, you got to be willing to be more open-minded so that you can be willing to learn more about your child and the do's and don'ts and all the components and all the strengths and weaknesses and all of the good and bad characteristics of the disability upon your child. You got to be willing to be more open-minded to learn all of that if you're willing to have a better relationship with the kid and be able to have an easier time raising the kid as he or she grows. So you got to be more compassionate about it. You got to take care of the kid so that you can be able to have even a more emotionally stable relationship with them, which is another important component that you need to keep in mind, because if you don't have the stable emotional ground or the stable foundation, if you don't have that foundation, it's going to tip. And it's going to fall as you go. You got to be more compassionate and you got to be more understanding. Even if it's just as a simple goodnight kiss every single night. Because that shows and lets the child know that you care. And it's not even just with autistic children. That's just with kids, period. Because that's another life that's dependent on you. And you got to be able to understand and learn that you got to put time and effort in what you do to make sure that your child is stable enough to do things on their own. Without that foundation, your child's is gonna fuck up when they grow up. And it's as simple as that. But of course, you got some people out here who's clearly going to disagree with some of the points that I have, whereas they're going to disagree on how they're going to say that, oh, it's time consuming, therefore it's going to take time away from the parents to go over and focus on themselves, because how are they going to be able to take care of the kid if they're not able to have the free time to take care of themselves? True. I understand that. I understand that, you know, it takes a lot of time, and it's not going to be enough time for the parent to be able to take care of themselves in order for them to have enough to be good enough to take care of the child. But what you got to understand is, this is where knowing the disability and all the components and knowing whether or not it's severe or not comes to play. Because if you do some research and understand where your child lies within that severity levels, it's how much time that you need to be spending with that child. Because if the child has a very, very low rate, or if the severity level is real low, the parent don't really have to spend that much time with the child, because the levels are low. Therefore, the chances of child being more independent is higher because it's low, because it's at a lower rank. Versus a child that's at a mild rank, you gotta spend some time, because, you know, they'll have their moments where they'll be good and it'll be all to the good, and then something will happen, and then that child gonna snap and break, and then the parents gonna have to come back in and put that child together. Whereas if it was at a very high level, or at a very severe high level, that child is gonna be on a 24/7 watch, because it's at a higher rank. So you gotta be able to watch them at all times, and that's where it gets rough. And if that's the case, then try looking for professional help, like seeing how other parents who figured it out learn how they do it, or try to take a more professional approach by looking up some doctors, or trying to go through therapy or looking into social groups and seeing what they can do to help provide you in some of those situations. And that's one of the things that you can do to help make that issue a lot easier. And another thing that a lot of people would say is that, you know, it's hard for people to change their lifestyles in order for them to be able to be suitable for the kids. And again, that's where the research comes in. That's where the professional help comes in. And again, that's where the parent has to just come to the decision on whether or not the child needs to go ahead and just be put up for adoption if he wasn't ready to have that child in the first place, or if he just wasn't ready to be a parent. Because again, there are some irresponsible parents out there, and there are some irresponsible, well, I wouldn't say irresponsible parents, but some selfish parents who's just not willing to be able to take care of the child. And then that's where you just gotta end up thinking, okay, you really should have thought about using protection, or just saying no, or using birth control. Or if that happens, just put the child up for adoption if you just wasn't ready to be a parent at all. And it is what it is. If you can't go through the procedures of being mindful and willing to go over and be more open-minded of taking professional or seeking professional help, or looking up and seeing how other parents with autistic children go about their day and be able to make it easier for themselves, then you might as well just go ahead and put the child up for adoption, because that's just what it is. That's pretty much all you gotta do. So at this point, it's like, you gotta understand that there are components that's very helpful. So you just gotta understand that the situation, you just gotta understand the situation, and just think about what y'all gotta, like, gotta think about what y'all gotta risk when y'all choose to end up either raising the child or leaving the child behind. So in the end of all this, you just gotta be able to have the knowledge to prepare yourself for any unpredictable trait that the child may have. Become more understanding, with your, with the characteristics that they have, and just spend more time with them. That's pretty much all you gotta do. That way, they can grow up to be more well-minded adults, and your task of raising the child can be a lot more easier. Once you do that, child, you're set to go. It's all to the good, and that's pretty much it. So, yeah. But that's pretty much it, y'all. I'm about to head out, and yeah. Forgot to mention that this is not any of my other videos. This is for extra credit assignment for my project. So yeah, if you still watch this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment down below. Y'all tell me how y'all feel, and I'm gonna see y'all later. Yeah. Pretty much. John, I'm done.